One thing that's been really impressive about working with Old National Bank is the ways they've been involved with us to support our mission. The types of philanthropy and practical supports that Old National Bank provides to clients like Common Bond allows us to do more in communities and live out these values.
What I love about Old National is the opportunity to lead and manage good people and the support of leadership to uphold my values and the things that I love to do within the community.
Old National Bank for us is like going with a family member. They work for the community, and it's something that we focus also a lot, working for the community.
I think what makes us unique is how connected we are. This idea that we behave like a family, that people care for each other.
We have a deep-rooted culture and passionately serving our clients and our communities. Our employees just truly care. And when you have that type of culture, it truly makes it an enjoyable place to work.
A bank that's actually been around for 190 years speaks volumes about what they've been able to do. I feel like they've always been on our side, like they're working with us. I feel them in our plant every day.
I've had a lot of introductions, but never a plate of food dropping. Wow. Good morning and welcome to the 20th Annual Junior Achievement Evansville Regional Business Hall of Fame. We're so happy that you are here and joining us as our guest today. At the end of today's program, we will be sharing an exciting announcement about a game-changing project coming to our region that you will not want to miss. So if you think you're about to get a parking ticket out there at 9 o'clock, just hang with us a few more seconds as we announce this really great game-changing announcement. But before we begin today's festivities, it's important for us to honor an old friend, a person who has served as the voice of this event from the beginning, Mr. Brad Bird, a longtime friend and former colleague. Brad has served as our Master of Ceremonies since we began this tradition in 2006. Brad, would you come up here, please? We're grateful for Brad's service and dedication to this important celebration and for all that he has done to help advance JA's mission in the region. Certainly have some big shoes to fill, and Brad, we're pleased to present this token of JA's appreciation for your dedication over the years.
Well, thank you very much. That I was not expecting. Thank you, Lloyd. That I was not expecting, but we appreciate it. And congratulations to our laureates. I know I'll keep it brief, so hold the orchestra. This is going to just take less than a minute. In addition to congratulating the laureates, I want to salute all of the young people of JA. And chances are there may be a handful out here today who were in JA that first year in 2005. This has been a tremendous learning experience for me because I'm a history buff, and the incredible dynamics of this community. When you think you've seen it all, in my case, I had not. And if it had not been for the great work of the people who put this event on, I wouldn't have seen a lot of history that has really impacted us to this very day. And they are incredible stories. Great to see a lot of familiar faces today. Mrs. Cook, you made my day just seeing and talking to you. And thank you so much. Thanks to all of the former laureates, and a salute to everyone. It's very, very important to keep connected with our community, especially in these times we live. And former Mayor Winnicke, thank you so much for everything you've done, and good to see all of you out there. Thank you so much, and on with the show.
Thank you, Brad. Today we are privileged to celebrate, as I said earlier, the 20th year introducing laureates and inducting them into the Junior Achievement Hall of Fame. Before we recognize today's honorees, let's take a stroll down memory lane to remember the many leaders that we have applauded through the years. Today we welcome 3 new laureates: Malcolm Cook, Barry Cox, and Jim Ryan, each known for their servant leadership, passion for our region, and their unique ability to deliver meaningful impact. These individuals, like past laureates, embody Junior Achievement's purpose to inspire and prepare students to succeed in a global economy. You'll enjoy their inspirational stories that we'll get to in just a bit. But first, we have a few acknowledgments. Our thoughtful business community never hesitates to step forward to make this event possible. We are grateful for our generous partners. Thank you to the Hall of Fame committee led by Chair and JA Board Member Steve Teising, and the Laureate Selection Committee, Chris Petruskevich from the University of Evansville, Ivy Tech's Daniela Vidal, and USI's Steve Bridges. Greeting you this morning and assisting us with the induction are 3 8th grade students from Glenwood Leadership Academy: Jacoby Jackson, Alexa Ramirez, and Adeline Lockett. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you enjoy your morning out of school. We're also pleased to have so many JA champions with us today. Please stand if you have ever supported JA as a board member, volunteer, investor, or educator. Don't be shy. We are grateful for your leadership and commitment to youth development. Together, we are inspiring tomorrow and empowering the future. And now, it's my pleasure to welcome Junior Achievement of Southwestern Indiana's CEO, Marcia Forston, to the stage. Marcia.
When I grow up, I want to make statues for the museum.
When I grow up, I'm gonna be a doctor.
When I grow up, I want to be a soccer player. When I grow up, I would like to be an astrophysicist. When I grow up, I want to be a construction worker. When I grow up, I want to be a vet.
When I grow up, I want to be a police officer, a firefighter, and a doctor.
When I grow up, I want to work at a gas station.
When I grow up, I want to be a musician.
I want to be a police officer.
I want to be a doctor for surgery because after I got my surgery, it inspired me to be a surgeon. When I grow up, I want to be a soldier.
When I grow up, I want to be a nurse.
When I grow up, I want to be an artist.
When I grow up, I want to be a hairstylist. When I grow up, I want to be a neonatal nurse.
When I grow up, I want to be a minor.
When I grow up, I want to be a marine biologist.
When I grow up, I want to be an engineer/architect.
When I grow up, I want to be a doctor because I get to help people.
When I grow up, I want to be a civil engineer.
When I grow up, I want to be a veterinarian.
When I grow up, I want to be a neurosurgeon. When I grow up, I want to be a chef.
When I grow up, I want to be a designer.
When I grow up, I want to be an ultrasound tech.
When I grow up, I want to be an entrepreneur.
I like play soccer. I'm gonna do a mechanic from cars.
When I grow up, I want to be HVAC.
I'm living on pool, play football.
When I grow up, I want to be a lawyer.
When I grow up, I want to be successful.
Good morning. Don't those kids have big dreams? Those are our kids. Those are kids from right here in our region. On behalf of the Board of Directors, advisory boards, and staff, we are so grateful for your continued support and investment in the future. We have a wonderful celebration in store as we proudly continue our tradition of honoring our region's most outstanding business and community leaders. We are privileged to induct Malcolm Cook, Barry Cox and Jim Ryan, 3 remarkable trailblazers into the JA Evansville Regional Business Hall of Fame. Bill, Barry, and Jim, my heartfelt gratitude and congratulations to you and your families. As Lloyd said so well, we are grateful to honor you and are deeply thankful for your commitment to our region's success. You are significant role models who exemplify, model, and live the values and principles that Junior Achievement advances with our young people. At Junior Achievement, we believe that no one can change their circumstances without a belief in themselves and a sense of purpose. Did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up? Those young people inspire me. They see purpose. They see their potential. And that is why our organization is dedicated to inspiring students from all backgrounds to recognize their own innate potential and to explore the many opportunities that lie before them. In fact, at Junior Achievement, we envision a world in which young people have the skill set and mindset to live choice-filled lives and build thriving communities. And it starts with one change maker, a volunteer, an educator, a supporter. This change maker inspires and prepares students to succeed through learning experiences that focus on critical skills that help them be college and career ready, financially capable, and entrepreneurially minded. This approach impacts the many students we reach today and the countless lives they will influence tomorrow. We do this through authentically integrating real-world connectivity with the help of you, our amazing partners. In the end, our promise is to provide real-world learning experiences that help young people reach their full potential. In other words, our name is our promise. Before we share today's laureates with all of you, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank our brilliant laureate production team, director and master storyteller Stan Newman with Direction by Newman, and the ABC 25 and CW team of Mitzi Coleman, Brent Zerby, and the creative team of Brody Schaefer, Keith Harper, and Alex Clark. Please join me in thanking these brilliant artists and community partners. As always, you're going to love their work. So now let's really get this celebration started. It is my great pleasure and privilege to introduce Chris Petruskevich, President of the University of Evansville and the co-chair of the 2025 Laureate Selection Committee. Please welcome President Petruskevich.
Hello, Evansville. And I say that because I think you're all here. It's great to have you here. It's great to be part of business and education being able to come together, along with Junior Achievement, to be able to recognize our laureates. I am honored to serve as co-chair of the Laureate Selection Committee, along with my colleagues and friends, Steve Bridges from USI, Daniela Vidal from Ivy Tech. And we are here to be able to celebrate the lives of a couple of people that have meant so much to all of us. This starts with JA. For 20 years, JA has recognized the accomplishments of the most influential business leaders in our region. The laureate selection process is rigorous, it's thoughtful, it's inspiring, and it begins with the community because those are the people that submit nominations. The selection committee then takes it from there, and we are honored to present the 2025 laureates who exemplify business excellence, courageous thinking and action, inspired leadership, and a strong commitment to our community. So we are delighted to be able to recognize Malcolm, Barry, and Jim. We also know from our video a little bit earlier that there are several of our laureates who are with us today. So if you are a past JA laureate, can you please stand so we can recognize you? Thank you for all of your hard work on behalf of all of us in the Southwest region. Our 2025 laureates firmly uphold the tradition that you have started of excellence and we look forward to being able to honor them and add to the collection of laureates that are part of Southwest Indiana. I'm honored to play a role in recognizing these individuals this morning, and like their fellow laureates before them, they are committed to making our region the absolute best it can be, not just for today, but for generations to come. So let's get started. Our first laureate, Malcolm Cook.
Cook Enterprises is beating the odds. Studies show that 80% of U.S. businesses are family-owned or family-operated. While 30% of these businesses reach the second generation, only 10% make it to the third generation. Cook Enterprises enters its fifth generation, celebrating 152 years of service to the community. The founder of George Cook Sons was born in Albig, Germany. George's family came to America in 1843 and settled in Evansville to reunite with family members. George's father owned a winery in Germany, so he decided to become a brewer. His Eagle Brewing Company at the corner of Riverside and Fulton eventually became the home of F.W. Cook Brewing Company, and in 1930 changed its name to the Sterling Brewing Company. In 1873, George established the George Cook Tin Shop, limited to repair work for roofing, guttering, furnace installations, and manufacturing of small cookware items. And thus, the Cook generations began. Third generation Malcolm Cook began his work with the company as a machine shop foreman in the 1920s and served as the executive vice president from 1939 until his death in 1981. Malcolm was known as the Idea Man.
I'm sitting in the Cook Planetarium in the Evansville Museum. This planetarium is the result of a lot of effort by my Uncle Malcolm, who had an avid interest in astronomy and was responsible for the first planetarium that came to Evansville, probably the first planetarium in any museum. Malcolm would love this planetarium. This was his dream. This would have been his absolute goal for a planetarium. He was a true Renaissance man. He was very creative, very innovative, very entrepreneurial. He was responsible in our company for the metal furniture business and metal flower pots and all kinds of things where he had developed special machines to give us an advantage to be able to produce these at less cost than other competitors. Yeah, Malcolm was way ahead of his time. He was always thinking ahead. He always had ideas that were far in advance of the common thinking. But if Malcolm hadn't come up with these new ideas and kept the company going, we might not be here for the fourth and fifth generations. Well, Uncle Malcolm taught me never to be satisfied with the status quo, to keep working on new ideas and improvements and making things better.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan.
In 1942, George Cook Sons stopped production of metalcraft for customers and started the construction of war products to support the country throughout World War II. They built a new plant on Upper Mount Vernon Road where their craftsmen's metalworking skills were quickly used as they began the fabrication of parts for the famous LSTs. They also produced systems for other factories across the U.S. that include spray booths for aircraft wings, showcase testing equipment, and fixtures for aircraft wings and engines.
He dedicated his life to George Cook Sons and my mother and my grandmother. My grandfather was a role model in that I tried to embody what he was in my life. So his commitment to the community was really important. I admired how hard he worked, how well he treated people. I liked the idea that he helped in a way that was not, did not bring attention to himself. So I tried to incorporate all those values in my life.
My grandpa Malcolm was a wonderful grandpa. If we ever needed to know anything in our household and we didn't know the answer, it was always, well, we'll ask Grandpa Malcolm because he would know. And he always did. When he was 10 years old, he published his first newspaper. He sold it for a penny. It was called the Grandview Times. Later on in life, he wrote a magazine called Malcolm's Mysteries. That's what he called it. I think if my grandfather were here today, he would tell young people to study and study hard, read and be inquisitive.
I think Malcolm's message for the junior achievement would be, you know, perseverance and come up with new ideas. Keep fresh. Keep generating ways to do things better. Keep thinking forward or ahead. When Malcolm passed away, he was working at his desk at the office. He left quietly.
The Cook family is a prime example of capitalism working well. Making money is admirable, but there's also a responsibility for using some of that money for the betterment of everyone. And I think my grandfather personified that. I think he would be proud of the role he played in passing it down from one generation to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation, to the next generation.
Good morning. My grandfather has been dead for 44 years, but even if he were still alive, I don't know whether he'd be here this morning. And not just because he'd be 120 years old. Public attention like this made him uncomfortable. He was a man of few words. He was the oldest of 9 children. As you now know, Bob Cook is his nephew. Jim Muehlbauer is his nephew by marriage, and he's a great uncle to all the 5th generation Cooks and Muehlbauers who are here in force this morning. My grandfather's brother Bill and his wife, the legendary Pat Cook, established Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Natalie, Pat's daughter, is here with Pat today. Malcolm's sister, Kay Bossy, is the mother of Jeff Bossy, who founded Bossy Title Company. Jeff is the great-great-nephew of Mayor Benjamin Bossy, for whom a street, a high school, and, dare I say it, the 3rd oldest ballpark in the country are named. So Malcolm's ties to this community run deep. My sister Marie and I are his only grandchildren. We'd like to thank you on his behalf, even though he'd be terribly embarrassed. And that said, in keeping with his predilection for brevity, I'm going to surrender the mic.
Born in Summit, New Jersey. Went to elementary school at Hartshorn Elementary. My father worked for a company called Daniel Construction Company, and Dad's primary job was to convince corporations to build their manufacturing plants in the South. Up to that point in time, Daniel Construction had been building warehouses in the South. And the idea was, if we can start having these companies build textile plants in the South, they won't have the cost of shipping their products south. And they were very successful in bringing companies to the South. My mom was the chemist at the American Viscose plant in Nitro, West Virginia, and she was also the plant photographer. And that's how she met Dad, who was taking pictures of him. But she was the most wonderful lady, had a heart of gold, put up with me no matter what I did. And trust me, I did a lot. In 1968, we eventually moved to Greenville, South Carolina. Dad became vice president of Daniel Construction then. Grew up in Greenville, South Carolina, and my parents said, we're going to send you to Christ Church Episcopal School. And I said, I am not going to wear a uniform. And they said, you really don't have a choice. You're going to Christ Church Episcopal School. And when I went to the school, I was surprised to find out that I didn't have to wear a uniform. I went 4th grade through 12th grade at Christ Church. And when I finally got baptized, I passed out there in the church. So my Nana, my grandmother at the time, said the devil ran out of me that day. I wanted to be an engineer. Applied to Clemson, the Naval Academy, and Georgia Tech. Went down to Clemson, talked to the tennis coach, and he said, what are you going to study? And I said, I want to study chemical engineering because you make the most money doing chemical engineering. And he goes, well, you can't play for me if you're going to study chemical engineering. Went down to Georgia Tech and talked to the coach there, and he said, I don't care what you study. We want you here at Georgia Tech. And in my sophomore year, I pulled a 1.1, and then I pulled a 1.5. Lost my scholarship to college. Got a letter from my father. It said, I have a way of dealing with failures. It goes 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, you're out. Which strike are you on? Love, Dad. Went back to school, got my grades back in order, got my scholarship back. And I think one of the things Tech taught me was that you don't ever give up. You work hard and you just keep trying until you finally figure it out.
After graduating from Georgia Tech, Barry was hired by Texas Crude Oil Company in Midland, Texas, where he started learning the oil business from the ground up while working in the oil fields. Barry had just received his engineering and training certification, which is the first step towards becoming a professional engineer, when he got an unexpected call from his father that would change his life forever.
My father came up with a creative idea to provide an infrastructure support services business. And he wanted to help, have me come help him start the company. My first answer to him was, no thank you. I've been Charlie Cox's son all my life, and it's time for me to go do my own thing. He got on his plane and flew down and got off the plane, looked at me and he said, I got prostate cancer and I'm going to die in 2 years, and I want you to come help me start this company. And I looked at him and I said, I guess you always were a hell of a salesman, Dad. And 30 days later, I was moving to Mount Vernon, Indiana, where I thought George Washington's home was. Been here ever since. I had no idea how to run a business. My background was engineering. And while Dad was alive, it was a training session.
In 1987, Barry and his dad designed, built, and leased back a 250,000 square foot distribution center for General Electric. Today, the Cox Group provides manufacturing and services for warehousing and distribution, transportation, plastics, sports, chemical industries, automotives, and more throughout North America and 2 provinces in Canada.
Barry's a very hands-on leader. He takes a passion in his people and leads by example, and he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's a people person. He cares truly about the people that work for him, that work in this business. Are we making sure we're doing raises for people at the appropriate time, and make sure those people are able to develop a retirement plan and be able to be successful both personally and financially.
Although I started as an intern at WSI, Barry really gave me the opportunity to grow within the company. He always loves to promote from within. Thank you for believing in me and giving me the opportunities to grow both as an employee and a person.
Barry's really a teacher at heart, and that's how he runs his business, by sharing his knowledge and teaching. And I think that's one of the things that attracted him to Junior Achievement.
I love teaching Junior Achievement classes. I love being able to spend time with those children and telling them that they can do anything that they want to do. And Junior Achievement's put together some great classes. I love my team, that's for sure. Have some of the finest people in the world, and you take care of them, then they're going to stay with you for a long time. This is not made possible because of what I do. It's possible because of the wonderful people that I work with.
Good morning. I want to take a quick moment to say congratulations to my friend Jim Ryan for a recognition well-deserved. And I also want to say congratulations to the Cook, Bussing, Muehlbauer families. Listening to Bill Bussing do the genealogy tree was like, you know David Bauer? Yeah. It was like suddenly a real rich piece of history for this community, and so appreciative of all the generations of service that have been given by all of your families. I'm here to recognize my friend Barry Cox. I was honored when Barry asked me to deliver his introduction, and I'm telling you now, it's a bold move to ask a former professor to give a 90-second speech. The video gives a quick sense of the business success Barry has had. And he says he knew nothing about business when he arrived in Mount Vernon. Clearly, experience was a great teacher for him. But his dedication to his team and his mentorship of the talent he finds speaks to his understanding that people drive success. It is true that success is rarely the work of a single person, but it matters that an environment encourages the development and support of people. For Barry Cox, those values extend to his volunteer and philanthropic work. I'm going to take a moment to say on behalf of the University of Southern Indiana, I take this opportunity to thank him for his generous support of many initiatives on our campus. His enthusiasm for teaching junior achievement classes highlights his love for sharing the message that failure need not be final, hard work matters, and opportunities abound for those with determination. When his friend Steve Magruder said that Barry Cox is really a teacher at heart, he captured those characteristics of integrity and generosity that led the selection committee to tap him for this honor. His leadership has been transformational for his business and for our regional community. It is my honor to introduce, as a 2025 inductee to the Evansville Regional Business Hall of Fame, Mr. Barry Cox.
Thank you. We'd like to thank the selection committee, our clients, and the entire Cox Group family, because without this group of folks, we would not be here today. More importantly, I would like to thank my lovely wife, Nicole, and our children for their support. There's a lot of work days, you know, you don't get to come home, so. Our communities are a reflection on who we are as a people. What our community represents are the efforts of all those that live, work, and play here. How we take care of our roads, our parks, our businesses, our homes, and our people reflect upon who we are. Each of us should be asking ourselves every day what we have done to support, nourish, and build up our community. We should all be concerned about that piece of trash that we see on our way to work, the quality of childcare, the quality of education, and the availability of affordable housing for our folks. We should take time to become involved with groups that provide support to our community. The Dream Center, Thrive, Girls and Boys Club, Memorial Community Development, and Junior Achievement, all of which represent opportunities for us to give back to our communities. We would ask that all of you contribute to the development of Southwest Indiana. As we have heard very many times, the size of the harvest is dependent upon the number of harvesters. All of us need to commit ourselves in some manner to tithing to our communities. In closing, we thought you might enjoy some of the philosophies that we have written into the walls of our office. It can be done. General Colin Powell, no matter what the challenge our business may face in this world, these words inspire us to embrace change and make things happen. You cannot take care of the family without money in the bank, a constant reminder that we must save and save and save to establish the foundation that supports our business. Do not ever fall in love with the deal. We should always be ready to walk away from those opportunities which do not align with our values. You will never know which way the wind blows tomorrow. You may think your ship is safe in the ocean, but there will never be a time to rest. Always be prepared. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. A little wisdom from the guy upstairs. Take care of your people, and they will take care of the business. The best sales team anyone ever had is the folks that work in your company. And finally, there will always be someone better off than you and someone worse off than you. Be humble. Thank you so much.
In 1834, Old National Bank started in a one-room building located on the banks of the Ohio River in Evansville. Today, Old National Bank still sits on the very lot it was built on more than 190 years ago.
I grew up in DeWitt, Michigan, and a very small town just north of Lansing. This was the kind of place where your parents' friends would keep an eye on you. And if you got in trouble, they'd let your parents know really quickly. My mom worked for IBM, and my dad, he was self-employed. When I was in college, I was probably a little bit of a nerd. I did wear dress shirts, khaki pants, and ties, often to class. My career got started as a result of a college professor at the time offered or talked to me about an internship at a bank. And so he connected me with Old Kent Bank in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And Old Kent Bank is a lot like Old National Bank back in the day. And I started working for Old Kent Bank in my junior summer, and I have not stopped working for a bank since that junior summer in college. When I first joined Old National, I had the opportunity to work in our finance area. And actually, Old National, after a few years of being there, was going through its own set of changes. And I'd actually decided to leave Old National in 2004. And subsequent to me leaving, they hired Bob Jones as the CEO.
I don't think I'd been in the bank for less than an hour and had people lining up at my door saying, "You've got to convince Jim Ryan to come back to Old National."
And he gave me a call and asked me to come meet with him. And I met with him and Larry Dunnigan at Evansville Country Club. And over dinner, I decided it made sense for me to return back to Old National.
He has done a job beyond anything I could ever do. And I got to tell you, I'm as proud of Jim today as I am of anybody I've ever worked with. He has done a remarkable job, and he's just the perfect guy for the role.
So my mentor, Bob Jones, always used to say, we have a moral obligation to serve our communities. So we take that very seriously. And we also have a saying around here, we are only as strong as the communities we serve.
You know, I think it's safe to say that both Jim and I would say we've benefited from role models and mentors in our life. And if you think about the role that Junior Achievement plays today, that's exactly what they are. They're exposing our young adults to a multitude of job opportunities. They're exposing our young adults to role models like Jim Ryan.
Advice I would give to a young person as they start thinking about their career is, I think you need to start with things that make you passionate. But that passion also has to be combined with hard work. And oftentimes that hard work and that dedication, that passion will lead to great success.
Jim was one of the founding fathers of the Evansville Regional Economic Partnership, known as EREP. What it's been able to do for Evansville is give us one voice, one consistent voice. So as businesses look to expand in Evansville or they look to come into our community, they have one point of contact now, and it's E-Rep. He looks for ways to get business done. If you look at what he's done since 2019 as CEO, the bank has more than doubled in size and helped the bank become even bigger today than what they were.
One of the worries that I hear about as Old National continues to grow is, do they still care about, Southern Indiana? Will they ever move the headquarters away from Southern Indiana? And I can assure you, I do believe it's our secret sauce, the fact that we're headquartered here and we live in a relatively small town. Living and being headquartered in the same place for 190 years is important. Evansville is one of those, I think, very special communities. We all like each other. We personally like each other. So when there are problems to solve in our community, we come together, we collaborate exceptionally well. We try to find solutions that meet all of our community needs.
We should all be very, very proud that we have a bank the size of Old National based in Evansville, Indiana, where the CEO lives and the CEO thinks about what he can do to make a difference in our community. Jim, I've always thought of you as the younger brother I never had. And I will tell you that Lisa and I are extraordinarily proud of you. For me to sit on the sidelines for the last almost 6 years and watch what you've done to a company that I dearly love just means so much. As soon as the news broke about the terrible tragedy in Louisville, I knew that Jim's heart would break. He cares deeply about everyone he works with, that he touches. And what I got to observe and the way he handled that tragedy was just simply incredible.
But this was an event you couldn't plan for, you can't even think about. It's unimaginable. And so, but that strong foundation allowed us to lead through just this horrific experience where we lost 5 team members. And in fact, this pin today I'm wearing is a representation of the love and care and support we think about every single day across our entire company for each one of our team members. And I think it may be a little bit unusual for businesses to use the words like love, care, and support, but it's who we are.
Truly a very difficult act to follow. Bill, congratulations to you and all the cooks and mule bowers and all you do for our community, and Barry, congratulations to you. It's really an honor for me to be here to induct Jim Ryan into the Business Hall of Fame, and as I was thinking about his induction and who he is as a person, it'd be very easy to stand in front of you and talk about the incredible job he's done leading the company in terms of financial support. Since he took over as CEO, he's grown the assets of the company by 167%. He's grown net deposits by 180%, and he's grown net income by 123%, which is just incredible in this industry. But that's really not what defines Jim Ryan. It'd be easy to talk about what he's done in the community. As Ron mentioned, Jim was really the leader at forming E-Rep. Not an easy task to combine 2 organizations, 4 counties, a lot of personalities, and a lot of challenges, but through Jim's perseverance and his ability to build coalitions, he did a remarkable job. It'd be important to say he could be inducted for the great work he did in bringing the Orr Fellowship to Evansville. A chance to get something that was only Indianapolis is now here in Evansville, and it's because of Jim's leadership. He leads a company that last year had 67,000 volunteer hours. Think about that. That's remarkable. And he allows his people to give back. As Jim said, a long-rooted belief in the company is we're only as strong as the communities that we serve, and it's through those volunteer hours that it makes a difference. But the Jim Ryan I know is this: it's his heart. You just had to watch that video about Louisville. I promised myself I wouldn't get emotional, but those were people.
He not only picked up our associates, he picked up the communities, and I would offer he picked up the country by showing there's a CEO that has a heart and has compassion. And in today's environment, that's unusual, but that's who Jim Ryan is. But there's the little things that he does that nobody knows about. We had an associate who had a fire at their house. Jim was the first call I made. Jim went to Walmart and bought them clothes and made sure they had clothes to be able to go to school that day, to make sure they had things to take care of. There's associates who had a daughter in the hospital. First person that showed up, Jim Ryan. So really, Jim's being inducted in the Hall of Fame for his heart, his compassion, his incredible leadership, and his love and care. You know, Jim every Friday sends an email out to his associates. And at the end, he talks about love each other, care, and support each other. And that's Jim Ryan. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce the world's greatest girl dad, Jim Ryan.
Well, I don't even know how to start. I had a speech that's all prepared, but it's very difficult to deliver now. And in watching that first video, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. So it's pretty amazing that they've got a pretty well-defined path. Well, good morning, everyone. And to every esteemed guest and past honoree that have gathered today, please know that I am incredibly honored to stand before you as a newly inducted member of the Junior Achievement Business Hall of Fame. Junior Achievement does incredible work in financial literacy, work and career readiness, and entrepreneurship. And Marcia, thank you for your leadership. Our community is better because of you. I'm also deeply humbled to be a part of a class that includes Barry and Malcolm Cook. I've had the pleasure to get to know Barry quite well through our time together in the business community, and he's also gladly to call a client. But I'm also, aware of, just in awe of Barry's exceptional business and community leadership. Barry, you set a bar that's incredibly high bar for us all to achieve, and the positive impact that you've made truly sets you apart. So congratulations. And what can you say about the fantastic legacy of Malcolm Cook and his profound impact on Cook Industries and, by extension, the whole city of Evansville and Southern Indiana, for that matter? I'm genuinely humbled to be in such incredible company. So to the Cook family and Muehlbauer family, thank you for your great leadership. Throughout my career, I have believed that success is a team sport. My presence at this podium is a testament to those collective efforts and the countless individuals that have profoundly influenced my life and career. And first and foremost, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to my wife, Tricia, whose selfless support and unwavering love and encouragement have propelled my professional success. Thank you so much for not just being my better half, but for being my reason why. And simply, babe, I couldn't do it without you. I also want to thank my beautiful, intelligent, creative, and generous daughters, one of which is here to me, my favorite daughter. The reality is my other daughter was here over the weekend for Mother's Day, and I said, don't make the drive twice. She lives a few hours away. So you both inspire me every day, and you continue to teach me what it means to live life with passion and service for others. To all three of you, thank you for trusting me, nudging me, putting up with me, and most important, loving me unconditionally. I also want to express my profound appreciation for my predecessor and mentor, Dr. Bob Jones. For those you don't know, Bob received a doctorate degree over the weekend from the University of Evansville. President Petruskevich gave that to him. Doctor of Humane Letters. I'm still trying to figure out what that means, but obviously Bob was a past recipient of this award, and Bob, I really, I would not be standing here without you. You know that. You recognized me as a leader, and you believed in me. It's as simple as that. You didn't tell me how to be a servant leader. You showed me how to be a servant leader. Your guidance and wisdom have shaped my success story in more ways than I can count, and I am immensely grateful for you. I also want to take this opportunity to recognize several members of the Junior Achievement Evansville Regional Business Hall of Fame who have taken the time this morning to be here with me. Like me, they have a connection to Old National Bank. In addition to Bob, I also want to recognize Larry Dunnigan, Andy Gable, Linda White, Dan Herman, Alan Braun, Neil Ellabrook, all current or former Old National Bank board members and recipients of this honor. I mean, how lucky am I to have a table full of these great business leaders surrounding me? I'm one of the luckiest men in the world. I also want to acknowledge Marge Soyerdink, and she was a former board member, and Dan Mitchell, who inspired many of us. Both of them inspired many of us and mentored many people in their lives. Lastly, I would be remiss if I failed to thank my entire Old National family. And we do use words like love, care, and support because that's how you talk to family members. And again, I would not be here without them. There is no such thing as individual success. You're only as successful as your team, and I am blessed with an extraordinary team. This includes our executive leadership team, our board, and the interesting thing is, so Marcia knew this when I found out I was winning this award, it was during the middle of a 2-day board cycle. So I have my entire cheering section here with me. My entire board of directors from all over the country have joined us. And I always think of this as really a 2-day review session, a quarterly 2-day review session. And having those kind of videos and having this kind of recognition just makes my day so much easier for the rest of the day. So Marcia, thank you for scheduling that. Without their passion and commitment and faith in me as a leader, I would be somewhere else today. I know I would not be standing here having this opportunity. So thank you all for your faith and belief in me. I also want to, I'll let you know that I am a proud Michigander, and Evansville, though, holds a really special place in my heart, both as my home and as the headquarters for Old National Bank for the past 190 years. One of the reasons I'm so proud to call this community my home is the incredible spirit of collaboration and defined shared success. I particularly want to acknowledge great leaders like Ron Romaine and Bob Cook, who are here this morning and have worked so tirelessly to ensure that Evansville continues to prosper. So Ron and Bob, thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you so much for your leadership and really showing me the way. I'm fond of saying that Evansville is a state of mind. And what I mean by that is we figured out how to combine and harness the best elements of big-time growth and small-town sensibilities. As Old National CEO, I spent a lot of time thinking about how our team can help carry the Evansville state of mind and the success that goes along with it to our other communities within our footprint. I am profoundly grateful for this honor. It directly reflects on the numerous friends, family members, and colleagues and community partners who have touched my life, some of whom I've mentioned by name, and others before. I can't mention everybody. Marcia's going to give me the hook here any second. But thank you to everyone that's here today. Thank you for being a critical piece of the fabric that holds Evansville together and propels us forward towards an exciting, eventful, and ultimately a highly successful future. Thank you so much.
my goodness, these folks are really hard to follow, aren't they? What a lesson we have had this morning in love, leading with love. And I want to just build on what Jim said and Barry, well, all of you, about the great community that we have. And that's also in support of the great community leaders. And we have a couple of them here, I know, today. Mayor Stephanie Terry is with us, Mayor Steve Layer. And all of that collaboration that happens in our community is just, I'm just really glad I'm not crying right now because it was going to be happening. So thank you all so much for all you've done to nominate these amazing folks in the selection committee, for your great work in selecting these fine individuals. Let's please once again congratulate our 2025 laureates. And thank you to all of you for your very kind, generous, and enthusiastic support all these many years.
But before we go, as we teased at the beginning of the program, there is an exciting, game-changing project that everyone needs to know about. Please welcome JA Board Chair and Deaconess Health System CEO, Sean McCoy.
Don't you hate being the last guy up? And how many text messages do you have, emails, people blowing your phone up? Lock the doors, okay? And since Jim's board's here, Jim's a board member for us, and if you need any dirt on him, just come after. I can help you out there. I do, and people tell me I don't get very excited about things, but this is my excited voice, so just bear with me. So I really am excited about this. This is what I'm calling a sea change event for JA and for our communities. And it's the Discovery Center. And like every good thing, we'll YouTube this for you. We're going to show you a video that can explain it a lot better than I can. But I've been able to see one of these, and it's an experiential learning center where the kids, they get in classroom education about business and politics and government. And then they go to the Experiential Learning Center, the Discovery Center, to learn more about it. And these were usually in big cities. Fort Wayne recently got one, and anything Fort Wayne can do, we definitely can do here in Evansville, right? And it is a game changer. I was fortunate enough to go there with several folks from the JA group. And these kids come in off these buses, and man, they're fired up, you know, they're screaming and yelling, and they do not lose intensity the entire day. And they're learning about business, they're learning about banking. They learn how to deposit a check. I don't even know if we need to know that anymore, but now they know how to deposit a check. So it is an amazing event, and there's so much energy in the room when they're there. It's just great to see. I wish I could take every one of you to see it. And your businesses can be represented in this Discovery Center. So when you walk into the Fort Wayne, it's got a lot of the community businesses have storefronts. And so you get your brand out there, you educate these students. So there's 15,000 students coming through there a year. Can you imagine if you could help determine what their careers are gonna be? You can get yourself out there. I hear us all in this room, we say all the time, you know, how come our kids never stick around here? They leave, you know, they go somewhere else. And I think sometimes they don't know what's available here. I mean, I've been here forever and I still learn about companies that I'm like, I didn't know existed, that are these great performing companies that are international that I didn't even know about. Our kids definitely don't know about them. So this is your opportunity to do this. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. I wish I could take you all there, and I'm going to show you the video now. And this is from Atlanta, by the way.
Each year, thousands of students graduate high school never knowing what professional or educational opportunities are available. Even worse, many lose focus and don't even graduate at all, never stopping to think what a financial strain this will have on their futures, or lack thereof. The Atlanta community decided to do something about this. Welcome to Junior Achievement's Chick-fil-A Foundation Discovery Center. In 7 months, this space at the Georgia World Congress Center was transformed from a few empty rooms to a simulated city of Atlanta to develop a place where our children can experience learning like never before. This place was developed to educate, but designed to inspire. But the learning does not begin here. Before stepping foot in the center, every student completes 18 in-class lessons. Then, almost every weekday, more than 200 6th through 8th grade students, that's more than 30,000 students a year, arrive here and are given the opportunity to not only dream of a bright future, but to actually experience it. In JA BizTown, students take on the role of an employee, a taxpayer, and a consumer. During the simulation, students receive unique job assignments, which include everything from a cashier to the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. By the end of their day's work, each student has experienced life as an employee, deposited a paycheck at the bank, and made purchasing decisions for themselves and their company. And across the hall at JA Finance Park, more students have the rare opportunity to experience their personal financial futures firsthand. Here, students receive a real-life situation. This provides them with a job, income, education, and even a family scenario. Based on these details, students visit the various businesses, gathering information to make financial decisions, such as managing a budget, using banking services, and even determining lifestyle and investment decisions. The learning here is authentic, immersive, and interactive, so you know the lessons are going to stick. Thanks to this 360-degree educational experience, by the time these students begin high school, they will have already encountered what it takes to generate a thriving business or manage a family household. Lessons that are crucial to keep students motivated to continue their education and develop into successful professionals. Join us in allowing all students to gain opportunities and take control of their future.
Okay, you guys as excited as I am now? All right, it is a great thing, absolutely. So when I was in Fort Wayne, one of the teachers told me, she gets this comment quite often from the parents. She's like, my kid came on and asked me what our credit score was. She said, I didn't know, so I had to look that up. But it just tells you what they're learning at these, during these events at BizTown and Finance Park. So we're going to do that here. We're still raising money for that. We have a lot of asks out. If you've been asked, would love a generous donation. And then if you want to be represented as a business in one of the storefronts, would absolutely want you to reach out. Those are limited spaces, so you would want to get that in early. Now is a great time to start thinking about that. So with that, I'm going to let you out of here. Well, maybe Lloyd's coming back, I guess. But thank you so much for letting us take a little time. Congratulations to the laureates. We appreciate it. Thanks.
We're dismissed. Have a great morning. Thanks for being here.